Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. There's a lot of commotion in the Islamic world right now, and you can see that commotion coming out on Twitter, on Facebook, and in different areas. And I want to share that commotion, and I want to highlight a few things regarding that commotion. First of all, let's think about what is happening in the capital of the Islamic world, Saudi Arabia, the custodians of the two holy places. As a Muslim living in the year 2022, how do you feel seeing your brothers, Muslims, dressed as witches, zombies, Satan, and whatnot in the land of the Prophet and the Kaaba? How would you feel if you were a Muslim living in Saudi Arabia right now? What if you discovered that people were celebrating Halloween in your neighborhood? Would you be upset or would your blood boil? Would you feel betrayed by the government which claims to be the custodian of the holiest sites in the Islam? What if you found out that the government had given its blessing to this pagan ritual? Would that make it more or less tolerable to you? How can we explain this behavior to Allah? How will we answer for our silence as His land is being desecrated and His holiness being mocked by pagans all around us? And what will we say when Allah asks us, why did you let this happen? So do we have any responsibility in this regard? Or should we just keep quiet and let this abomination continue? And shouldn't this land, the land of Hijaz, the land which includes Makkah, Medina, be under an independent Islamic rule? And they can do whatever they want in Najd, in other parts, but this land should be independent. Now, if this was one secular or one independent event, one could argue that yes, let's ignore it. But let's think about this. Is this a one independent event or is this something more? So what we know right now, let's divide into three parts. One, we know that this land that we're talking about, it's the land of Allah. It is the land where Kaaba, the house of Allah, is there. It's the land where Islam was born. It's the land of the Prophet. It's the land where the Sahaba were there. It's the land where Hajj and Umrah are performed. It's the land where people from all around the world, Muslims, embark on journeys for pilgrimage. So that's the first fact that we all have to understand. The second fact is this. Is this something? Is a continuation of things that have been happening over some time, and who's behind these actions, and what like some of the examples that we have seen over the time, and again all from YouTube. So this first opening up of theaters in the Saudi Arabia. Then we have these parties, rave parties in Riyadh, which involve men, women, girls, boys, and all sorts of crazy things which were unheard of in that area. Then recently you have this Halloween party where people dressed up as zombies, witches, murderers, all of these like crazy things that you see in Halloween, like pagan culture, you saw that in Saudi Arabia. And then the embracement of Valentine's. They don't call it Valentine's, but if you see how things are shown, it's pretty evident that during that time, Valentine is pretty, it's observed. Then you have like casinos being opened in Saudi Arabia. Like this image in itself, like you're allowing gambling. So all of these things so far, rave parties where you have people like from all walks of life going in and enjoying and partying like crazy in the middle of deserts. 180,000 people showed up in one night in one of these parties that happened like last year. And then this is New Year's celebration. Again, something that is not Islamic, that isn't in any way supported by any of the hadiths or anything. So far, what we have seen a ruler committing to modernize their country, to take them into the world, to make them Europe. Then you see the introduction of theaters, that you see the introduction of Valentine's Day, Halloween parties, rave parties, New Year's celebrations, all of these things that are not Islamic, not supported by Hadith, not supporting by any of the religious texts, but it is being encouraged. Now, who is this person? If you think about that, this person is the same person who's reportedly linked to the murder of Jamal Khashoggi, has led a war which has killed many, many thousands of Muslims in Yemen. And this image is about 40 some children graves are being dug because they were killed by a Saudi airstrike. He has killed clerics, religious scholars, arrested scholars for being against them, and then mass execution of his own people who have been against the rule. It's not about being with the person or against the person. It's about what this government controls. They can do whatever they want. Don't have a problem with that in any part of the country. But because they control the holiest sites in the Islamic world, Makkah and Medina, which is totally in contradiction to this government's individual acts, as well as what they are propagating amongst the youth, amongst the Muslim population of the country, which is known for as the capital of Islam because of the Makkah and Medina being there. We have to think, where do we stand in that? We will be judged if we stayed quiet and let all of these things happen, or if we raise the voice. And we should realize that some of these pictures do not go together. There's something wrong with these pictures. And we have to make a stand. We have to make our voices known that what is right and what is wrong should be addressed. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.